So, regarding aquaculture, aqua means basically water, and culture means rearing or producing something. So, if you are producing something in water, it is known as aquaculture. So, basically or technically, we can define aquaculture is a form of agriculture in which aquatic plants and animals are reared in artificial or semi-natural condition. So this is an artificial setup. Or you can also use a fully natural situation or a semi-natural situation. So that kind of agricultural techniques where we are producing either plants or animals in an enclosed environment is known by the name aquaculture. So this is how the aquaculture is normally conducted. Now, what are the advantages of aquaculture that we have to understand? One important advantage of aquaculture is that we don't need an extensive fishing craft and gear. What is a fishing craft? Craft basically means the fishing boat, then the catamaran and other small boats that people are using for fishing purpose. They are known as a fishing craft, basically boat and vessels. And fishing gear basically means net. Then there are other types of techniques are used for catching fish. Fish capturing equipment is known by the name fishing gear. So in the use of this modern fishing boat, they need a lot of expensive boat, and normally a fishing boat may be costing some 30 lakhs or 50 lakhs. So that will be the cost of a fishing boat. So unless you have that much income to invest, it is not possible. So that is one problem with the traditional model. Then another is the low operational and maintenance cost. As I told you earlier, if you are going for an aquaculture, once you have established it, and for building an aquaculture tank, you may need 1 week. After that, every day you don't need to bother much, unless the pest or other people are coming and catching your fish. You don't need to bother about anything. You can only need to give them some feed daily. So there is no low operational and maintenance cost. The cost of maintaining or keeping an aquacultural farm is very low. Then low capital investment. So from my experience, I know that if you want to build aquaculture around 20,000, that is the first time when we are building. And if I am doing the same thing again, instead of 20,000, I can do the same thing using 10,000. Because first time when we have to take some professional help to other people from agriculture university came and established the whole thing. Now we know what is the technique. So if we are able to dig a soil, a small pond, everything we can do ourselves. So the cost can come down to 10,000. So that is a low capital investment. That is another advantage that increase the yield from a natural area. Advantage of aquaculture is that we are giving them more nutritive food. So in this, if you are giving the nutritive feed, that will be increasing the growth of the fish. Instead of getting 1 kg, it may be growing to a size of 2 kg. So so if there are 100 fish, instead of 100 kg, which is normally happening, if you are giving the more nutritious feed, then the size of the fish may be increasing. So instead of total output of 100 kg, we may be able to produce 200 kg. Then our profit will be increasing. So that is the advantage of using aquaculture. Then more predictable yield and provide a sustainable seafood source. The more predictable means, so in the case of our own aquaculture tank, so we have started it last month. So I can calculate that after the next 6 months, the fish will be reaching the maximum growth size and it can be sold. So I can give an assurance to a people, some hotel industry or some other catering industry, that in June I will be able to give you 100 kilogram of fish. So if you are paying me that money, I will be able to give you at a discount price. So this kind of business marketing can be conducted. So that is a predictable yield. Unless some disease or other kinds of, like flooding or other kinds of natural calamities are occurring, we can predict how much amount of fish we can generate in each month. So there is a predictable yield. and there is no reduced health risk, because normally what happens is that in the case of traditional fish capturing, these fishermen will be going to the sea, and they will be in the sea for 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months. So once they leave the seashore, they will be coming back normally after 2 months or 3 months. So whatever fish they are capturing will be in the freezer for 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months. So even if they say it is a fresh fish, actually it is a frozen fish that will be remaining in the fishing boat for about 2 to 3 months. So that will be increasing the chance of bacterial contamination, and people may be also using more preservative to make sure that the fish is not getting contaminated. So and all these chemicals can cause some kind of health hazards to the consumer. Then provides thousands of jobs in operation and ancillary business. For example, if you are doing an aquaculture and you are having 10 ponds or 20 ponds, then you need at least 2 people to take care of these 20 ponds. So that they will be looking after the pond, they will be checking the water quality, and they will be giving them food. So once the fish has grown to the mature size, you have to capture it. Then you have to market it. Then we have to transport this fish to some other people, and for that you need some vehicle. And for vehicle, sometimes you have to purchase a lorry yourself. Then you have to employ a person or driver for that, and you also need some other staff also to take care of that. Then if you are not able to sell it immediately, you need a what you call a frozen unit, freezer unit, and for maintaining the freezer unit also you have to employ one person. So even if you are doing it at a small scale, you are going to employ at least 5 or 10 people. Minimum 5 people you have to employ there. So from a small pond farm itself, at least 5 people are getting employment. So this is how that is why. So if so many people are having this kind of farms, so many job opportunities will be developing in our state. So this is the concept of advantages of aquaculture and farming. Then you can see that this is a type of aquaculture which is certainly not in Kerala. It is somewhere in Thailand or Indonesia. What is the type of? There is a type of aquaculture they are practicing there. Then there are basically 3 different methods of aquaculture, and one method is the extensive method, then intensive method, and semi-intensive method. And going to the extensive method, in the use of extensive method, the fish are reared in natural waters with little attempt to modify the environment. So that is this is the extensive method. We are taking some farms like this, and we are just putting the fish into the water in the farm. Then the only thing that we are giving is that we will be adding some fertilizer. By adding some fertilizer, we will be increasing the productivity of the fish. Then the other advantage of this extensive method is that you don't need a lot of capital, lot of money. The expense in terms of money will be very limited. So the capital expenditure is also very low in the use of extensive aquaculture. So only thing is that in the use of an extensive aquaculture, we are just rearing fish or cultivating fish, growing fish in a natural water like this. So if you are growing fish in a natural environment like this, or natural water bodies like this, we call it by the name extensive method or extensive aquacultural method. Now we have another type, that is a intensive method. Here you can see that we have invested some money, because in order to build tanks, they are all made of concrete. So and there are a lot of tanks are there, and all are made up of concrete. Advantage is that this is a long-lasting technique, a long-lasting method, so that we can grow fish, and we can also monitor the quality of the water. Here you can see that there are oxygen units will be there, filtration units will be there. All these will be present. Then we can also walk through this in between space, and we can also give them feed. So Okay. So in this intensive method, what we are doing is that the fish will be kept in an enclosure. What is an enclosure? The enclosure means a tank like this, enclosed all side. That is the meaning of the word enclosure. So fish will be kept in an enclosure, so that we will be able to manipulate the environment. Manipulate means control or modify. So if when we are keeping the fish in a tank like this, we will be able to provide them oxygen. It is easy for them to put some plants inside. This will be also easy for them to give them adequate amount of feed. The food will be given, can be very easily given. So these are some of the advantages. If there is some infection, we will be able to remove the water and introduce fresh water. So this is known as a manipulation, so that we make sure that the water is always of good quality and the fish will be growing at an optimum rate. So that's are some of the advantages of that. Then we will be also giving them high nutritious feed. So depending on the type of food or type of feed that we are giving them, the growth of the fish will be more. So if you are, for example, from my experience, I have now understood if there are 6 months, for the first month we are giving one type of food. For the second and third month, we will be giving another type of food. So that will be containing different type of nutrients, and based on the type of nutrient, the growth of the fish will be more, or we can have an optimum growth for the fish. So this is known as the intensive method. And finally, we have the semi-intensive method. Semi-intensive method is basically a mixture of both this extensive and intensive method. Here we are actually doing some degree of enclosure, but minimum manipulation of stocks. Now the only thing here you can see that there will be some enclosing. See here it is enclosed, so that the fish won't be going to some other farm. So that is the only thing. But we are not monitoring the water quality. Water will be of natural water, and we are not doing any monitoring of the water quality. We are not introducing oxygen because it is a large area. And monitoring the water quality and pumping oxygen and other things may not be easy, but we will be giving them some food. Other than that, we are not doing any kind of manipulation of the environment. Here what we are doing is that we are controlling the quality of the water. If the water is of pure quality, if we feel that certain elements, chemicals in the water is of higher amount, then we will be changing the water. And we will be, if the pH of the water is more, we will be doing some buffer system to reduce the pH. So we make sure that in an intensive method, the water is of always ideal quality or optimum quality for the growth of the fish. So that is the advantage of intensive method. But here the problem is that more amount of money is needed. It is more expensive compared to the other two. So in case of extensive method, we are simply utilizing the natural environment where there are no partition or enclosure. Whereas in the case of intensive method, it is a completely enclosed. Total manipulation, total modification of the natural waters are possible. And in the case of semi-intensive method, so we are taking some features from the extensive method and some features from the intensive method. The only thing is that there will be some enclosure. Other than that, there are minimum in a modification or manipulation of the natural water. So these are then there is one more system. There are basically two kinds of systems known as open system and closed system. Now in this one open system, there is a thorough flow of water by utilizing the natural energy sources like tides and currents. Here you can see that this is a natural water body, and the only thing that is leading to the movement of water is the natural tides or flow of some river water or canal water. So that will be the movement causing factor in the use of a natural water body. And such systems where there is a thorough flow of water using the natural tides or currents are known by the name open system. Now in a closed system, we are not employing any kind of natural current. We are not utilizing any kind of tides or currents. We are simply keeping the water in a closed environment like this. and we will be utilizing some air pump or oxygen pump or other filtration unit, and we will be making sure that the water is always constantly circulated, and we will be using some filtration unit so that we will be removing the feces or waste materials and the toxic materials which are produced by the fish, and we will be also introducing the oxygen. So that is known as a closed system, where we are completely controlling or manipulating the water quality of the tank. So that system is known by the name closed system. So closed system is like, in the case of intensive method we are using closed system, whereas in the case of extensive method we are using open system. So these are the two basic approaches that we can find in the case of the, here you can see that everything will be monitored, the water quality is controlled, and it will be a closed tank, just like the tank that you are seeing in our college compound. So that is this is also a closed system. This is a highly sophisticated, more advanced type, so that the number of fish which are produced by a closed system will be comparatively more. In a small area, for example, in an area like this classroom, we can put several tanks like this, and we can introduce oxygen, we can give them food easily, so that after 6 months or 7 months the fish will be reaching ideal size, and we can easily capture and market them. So these are some of the advantages of closed system. Even for capturing the fish, we don't need to use any net, we simply remove the water and we can easily catch the fish. So these are the advantages of closed system. Here you can see there is an open system, that some natural river water is bringing water, and the flow of the river water is actually is responsible for the flow. Here also the natural tidal effect of the water is utilized. So these are all examples of the open system. Now we have two more things. There are different types of aquaculture. I think there is inland aquaculture is there, freshwater aquaculture is there, brackish water aquaculture is there, marine aquaculture is there. So this and metahaline aquaculture is there. And about this we will have a brief discussion in our next class.